Now, the Ten Commandments is a misnomer, right? It's the 10 statements. Very good. Okay. It should be the 10 statements, not the 10 commandments. If it were 10 commandments, it would be Aseret HaMitzvot. But we don't say it's mitzvah. We say it's dibrot, statements. Because not all of the statements are commandments. And there may be even more than one commandment in a statement. Okay? So, in fact, Sadia Gaon says all 613 commandments are included in the 10 commandments. The 10 commandments appears in the Bible how many times? How many times? Twice. Once in the book of Exodus, 20, and one in Deuteronomy, 5. Okay? Twice. We'll explain that on another occasion. But let's take the text that we have in front of us, Exodus 20. And the text reads, Vaydaber Elokim ate kol hadvarim ha'ela, and God spoke all these words, saying, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am the Lord your God. Asher hotzeiticha me'eretz Mitzrayim beit avadim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Now, what's missing from the statement? Samantha, what's missing from the statement? Rachel, what's missing from the statement? God. Well, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. If it were a commandment, right? Here's a good proof that not all the statements are commandments. If it were a commandment, what would it say? I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Sophie? Believe in me. Very good. It would say believe in me, but it doesn't say believe in me. Some would say that believe in me is implied. Okay? I am the Lord thy God who brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. What is it basically saying? What's it saying? David. What's it saying? I brought you out of Egypt. All right, I'm the guy who talked. I'm the guy, not the guy. I'm the power that brought you out of Egypt. Accept me. It's implied, okay? It's just a historical fact, okay? The first of the 10 commandments is saying, I am God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. My reading of this, and there are many readings of this, okay? My first primary reading of this is, if you want to know God, study Jewish history. I brought you out of the land of Egypt. Not only did I bring you out of the land of Egypt, I brought you into the land of Canaan. I helped you defeat the many kings of Canaan. I brought you into Persia, and I brought you into Canaan, and I brought you into Egypt, and I brought you into Babylon, and I brought you into Israel. I brought you. I've led you. Arnold Toynbee, who is the great historian of the last century, he says, there's something wrong with the Jewish people. They don't fit into the patterns of history. Usually, a nation rises up, then it goes into a decline, disappears off the face of the earth. The Jewish people he called a fossil. There's something wrong with them. They're not acting according to the rules of history. A fossil. We're fossil. Now, if we take a look at Jewish history, we know that on Passover we say in the Haggadah, very famous line. Who's going to help me here? B'chol dor v'dor omdim aleinu l'chalotenu. What does that mean, Gene? Huh? No? Huh? B'chol dor v'dor, in every single generation, omdim aleinu l'chalotenu, they try to destroy us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyadam, and the Almighty saves us from their hands. If you study Jewish history, and you see how many times we were at the precipice of being destroyed, the end of the Jewish people, inches away, millimeters away, and nevertheless they survived. There is no rational way that we can understand that the Jewish people survive, whereas all the other nations on the face of the earth, the great nations, the Egyptians, the Romans, the Goths, the Visigoths, the Chinese, were all wiped off the face of the earth. The Chinese that we have today are completely different from the original Chinese. The Egyptians that are alive today are completely different from the original Egyptians. The Jews are the authentic same Jews that were formed into a nation over 3,300 years ago. How could it be that of all the nations on the face of the earth, only the Jewish people survived? Now you could say to me, Buchwald, it's just an accident of history. The accident occurs again and again and again and again. If we were scientists and I brought you into a laboratory and we took a test tube with a little a Bunsen burner and put sodium and chloride into that Bunsen burner and put it over the fire, and every single time you'd say, it comes out as salt, sodium chloride. Oh, must be an accident. It's just an accident. It won't happen again. But it happens again and again and again and again. The Jewish people survive. And it's amazing how the Jewish people survive and under what circumstances the Jewish people survive. There's a wonderful book that you can get a hold of now. It used to be called the Jewish Timeline Encyclopedia by Matis Cantor. Now it's called the Codex Judaica. And he literally brings every single year in Jewish history and shows what happened in those years. And most of the years, we were at the precipice of being destroyed. So here goes. I'm going to read you just a little bit of history. How's the federal bank doing? Good? Okay. Good. It works for the Fed. Okay. Slavery in Egypt. We survived. 586. The Babylonians destroyed the temple. We survived. 356 before the Common Era. Ahasuerus, the king of Persia. The story of Purim. Haman tried to destroy us. 137, 138. The Syrian Greek government tried to destroy us. That's the festival of Hanukkah. Good. 70 after the Roman era, after the Common Era. The Romans destroyed the temple. We were exiled again. 624, Muhammad watches his 600 Jews are decapitated in Medina in one day. Started then. 1096, the First Crusade. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of Jews are tortured and massacred. The Second Crusade, 1146. Thousands of Jews, including women and babies, are butchered across Egypt. 1290, we're expelled from England. 1306, first expulsion of the Jews from France. 1421, expulsion from Austria. 1492, expulsion from Spain. 1496, expulsion from Portugal. Okay? It goes on and on and on. 1648, Khmelnytsky, the massacres of the Jews by the Cossacks in Russia. 1840, the blood libel. 1940, 1945, Hitler, 6 million Jews annihilated. It goes on and on and on. How is it possible that the Jewish people survive? What is the Bible telling us? I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Study Jewish history. You think it's an accident? God is watching over us.